Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Happy Saturday. Let me get the game started up here. Alright. Switching over. We're doing it. It's happening. Hey, welcome on back to the stream, everybody. How's it going? Hope y'all are doing well. Hope everyone had a great week. It is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for our story time. It is time for more Ace Attorney. Get back in. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It changed. We are in the office of one Herlock Sholmes. I wonder if that's because of where we left off in the game. We're doing some investigation, and I think what happened was a pause in the investigation when we were like, okay, we need to go talk to Herlock and figure out what's going on here. What's going on with the case, and like why do we think that the Japanese traveler, the gent here, ooh, sorry, I just realized how much cat hair is on my mouse, and I am now very quickly trying to get said cat hair off the mouse. Oopsies. All right. Yeah, so anyway, we're trying to figure out like why Herlock is accusing our new friend and client of being the murderer of a young woman in the middle of the night. Like, why do you think it was him, other than, you know, the obvious, well, there was no one else there? Well, supposedly there was no one else around and no witnesses, but then we found out that there was a witness, and it was a kappa. It was another kappa. So, we got the popo. We don't know who it is. We'll figure it out. And then, what else? Oh, and then the case is called Clouded Kokoro being heart, because Ryunosuke's heart is clouded. What is justice? What is right and what is wrong? Because that last case left him pretty shaken. We're not entirely certain that our client was not guilty, but he got off the hook anyway. Yeah, a lot of complicated feels here, trying to work out what justice really is and what it means to him. And also what it meant to our poor friend Kazuma, who passed away on the way here, whose ideals we're trying to carry on. So a lot to unpack here and a lot to figure out. So let's get going, shall we? We're just gonna do one segment today because I have some other stuff to do, but we're gonna get some in. All right, here we go. Shit, I didn't read that. It was the 19th of February. I was on the wrong screen trying to click something on OBS. 19th of February, we're back at the scene of the crime, basically. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Oh, yeah. So Iris was like, yeah, if you want to go examine the Japanese man's house where they caught him and arrested him, and surely where Herlock probably still is right now, give him this letter that's like basically like, you have to help these people. Here's some money. I'm gonna bribe you. Bribery is a thing. I think we've already looked at everything. Anything new to look at? Alright, T. And nothing new to talk to you about. Yep. Nope. Alright. Iris's postcard, a card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from our dear friend Iris. Alrighty, here we go. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't, Matt. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here, at once! Come on, hand it over. That's for me! Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously. But it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right, for the adventure of Herlock Shones. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Oh, it's hard to use my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I am sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Gotta stay hydrated. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What you want to know?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
That's right, our client's name is, Natsume. Ah, the little knife-wielding, mustache-Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel. It's just over there, look. Oh! He lives in the bricked-up building? On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle is propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Gardideb. Right, well, you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Somebody likes money. Man wants to be paid. Goodbye for now, then, and long live her ladyship.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yes, so then shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
Definitely.
We're on the move. New location has been added. Home and office of the world-famous great detective and his young companion Iris. It seems people from all over the globe come to engage in his consulting detective services. Consulting detective, where have I heard that before? Alright, Mr. Natsume, the lodgings of, Mr. Natsume's lodgings, the lodgings of Mr. Soseki Natsume, according to information gleaned from Inspector Gregson. Here we go. 19th of February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Why is there a maid outfit there? Oh, hello.
May I help you?
Ah, yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Gardideb?
Indeed it would, sir. And who, may I ask, is calling?
My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here.
Why so surprised?
You would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
Why so shocked?
One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Gardideb.
Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid!
I know, as I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. That was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it?
I need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment.
Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garideb will see you now. This way.
That's a crescent-shaped head if I've ever seen one. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Oh, that was nothing.
That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner.
Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? Sorry. I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, for distinguished participation.
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Why is this man mixing his cuppa with his pipe? That's fucking weird, dude. What are you doing? Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. I'm in knowledge in military circles. Okay. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous.
I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here?
Ah, those old things. A couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit of a colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron, after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what, exactly? Yes, well... Joan here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day when she was dusting.
Oh no!
Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away? That portrait of Mr. Garideb is glaring at me, I swear.
Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garideb as well?
Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yes, seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements.
Sato-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter.
Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder?
I'm gonna have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Maybe let's not, Mrs. Sato. I think the maid's going to head us off with a cup of tea. It looks like it is to hide a big ol' rip in the carpet down here. And what on earth is this on the bottom? Well, let me look at it. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
It's clearly been well looked after, though.
That old thing? Ha! Not much better than rags, really. Oh. Or that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it?
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Why a cannon? That's a full-size cannon! What's it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
That old thing? Bah, that's a little more than a toy. I'm sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. How? How? Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Okay.
Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garideb?
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. I dry very well on the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. Oh, so sad. Well, that explains the apron. Books! I noticed you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garideb. Do you enjoy reading? Have I experienced a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Rent's magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garideb enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, too.
A great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. I guess we can go to the other side. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Everything looks broken. It looks like the cannon's been fired a couple times indoors, honestly.
Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shells seem to be broken and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces.
It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that china word justice.
Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
Yeah, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. I want to say fired twice, once here and then once there. Oh, that's a candle from here.
This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you're right. It clearly is supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Didn't crack, really. Oh. Use it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, sure, it still has its uses sometimes.
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it?
The memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories.
Why is this all over the place, too?
Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. If it is Mr. Garadeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea.
That's more than 2 there, though.
That sounds delightful.
Oh, wait a minute, though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Exactly!
Oh, well, naturally, and it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garadeb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. So she's definitely, like, giving him extra so she can eat the rest. Anyway, something tells me the cannon was fired. And there were some casualties in this room. Good day to you, John Garadeb at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwan, don't you know? And a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. A hell of a job getting up and downstairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the 2nd floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garadeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Ah! Dash it, old woman, be careful! I think that was a no from Joan, like she doesn't want to.
Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir.
You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands!
I shall be more careful, sir.
So anyway, there you have it, living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. With a maid who has you wrapped around her finger, whether you like it or know it or not. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right?
Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business.
Oh, but you have a copy of Rent's magazine here, so...
No, Anyway, the chap's
investigating the foreigner's room as we speak.
So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Natsume.
About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garadeb. Please do tell us.
Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. First floor room became available a week ago. Yeah! Dash it all, Joan, do be careful. Why is she trying to silence him? She knows something. First floor room became available a week ago, and there'd been... Why is she keeping him from talking?
Oh, my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir.
That's very suspicious.
Want to know my opinion? I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him.
I think you're shady. I think you, Miss Joan the maid, are very shady and suspect right now.
Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you asked me.
Some people are just nervous. God, don't be biased.
I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward.
I hate busybodies like this.
And I'm rarely wrong about anything.
I don't believe you. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Is there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us. A busybody, I told you. Alright, let's talk about the shady lodger. Have you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Only too eager to gossip. Got it.
Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard.
That's pretty shady.
Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too.
Some people like reading. Oh, I see.
The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning.
Hey, some of us are night owls. Ah.
Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
Oh! Ah, that's a good question. Ooh, my neck really hurts today.
I understand that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct?
That's right, yes. They were both below us on the first floor and the street level. Why are you sweating bullets at this?
Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed.
Ooh! Ah! Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. Is that her solution to any time she doesn't want to talk about anything or doesn't want anybody else to talk about something? She just scalds them with hot tea?
Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Something doesn't add up here. Alright, let's talk about the incident from 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Do you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering around nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Gorodeb household.
I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see.
Do you notice anything else out of the ordinary, then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well... Yes? Was there something else, then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of time... Ah! For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing! She's definitely doing that intentionally. Around that sort of time in here, there was something going on. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. I may, Mr. Harold Narrow Hollow. Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? And Mr. Garideb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Ah! Don't dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. Sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Garideb. What is the matter with these two?
Sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
I wish I knew. I don't like the maid. There's something off about her. She's hiding something. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsuma's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak?
Yes, told me not his name and asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsuma has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services?
That's a blatant lie. It'd be alright if we also had a look around in Mr. Natsuma's room, I mean. Don't see why not. Just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that can help us with the case, but we have to try. Also, it's weird that Herlock had to go out of his way and blatantly lie that he's helping our client when he's definitely doing the opposite, trying to find evidence against him. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we?
Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
I don't trust him, like, at all. Mostly because he's an idiot, but also because he's not proven himself to be very trustworthy. Like, I don't know how good of an idea this is. All right. Suite on the top floor of Mr. Garideb, of the Garideb household, occupied by the landlord, Mr. Garideb, and his wife. Window looks over Briar Road below. His wife? Is that in fact not actually a maid? No, it has to be. Who's his wife then?
Even when they're a little worse for the wear, English rooms are so splendidly colorful.
Alright. A small dark room rented by a visiting scholar from the Empire of Japan by the name of Soseki Natsume. th of February, Mr. Natsume's room. Let's look at this place. It is, in fact, Filled to the brim with books and letters. And paper. And smell it! It's so musty in here! Suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. The window's all bricked up. It is a little bit of a crap shack in here with the wallpaper peeling off and all that, though.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
Nope, me neither.
So dark in here, too. Is that the window over there?
Why is the window boarded up? That's what I want to know. Well, it was the window, I think. Yes, once upon a time. For some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So, this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you?
No, and that's true. But according to what Mr. Garideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Maybe he's under a pile of books. Oh, there's a cat! Love it. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling.
All works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
Oh, what a dreamy idea.
Bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Yo, I like reading. It's fine. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us.
How very optimistic of you. I only didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Would you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now.
Maybe the glass kept breaking and they were so sick of having to replace it. But really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? Well, why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that?
Afraid I have no idea. Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on a in a fit of whimsy.
Okay, but those are actual bricks, they're not paint. That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive.
It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too. Do they have to coin pay for their electricity? Because that's a little fucked up.
I believe that's a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, sorry, not electricity, gas, because it's all gas right now. Gas meter?
Yes, it seems there's piped gas in this district which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter.
If we were to put a coin in the slot...
That would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas for the fire for the whole night.
If you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. That is messed up, buddy.
That's right. As a rich man who would only... That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes.
Ugh, London's a scary place.
Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home.
Yeah, Maneki Neko. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring the Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Dodoma doll that you brought in your luggage?
Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
It's not doing a very good job so far, is it, though? Fair. Very fair. A little messed up, but fair.
Mustn't say such things.
I didn't say a word! Why are my eyes such a giveaway? You're too honest, Ryunosuke. Cat? Hello. Oh my god, cute. Can I hug it? Going.
Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master's away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared in that pile of books as quick as a flash. Excuse me. It was a tricolor Mika, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Look, he might have brought it with him.
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan.
That's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
It's been a very long 2 days.
That dust seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountain of books on either side.
Suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books.
Oh, yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, and the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. So he went to the bookshop to go buy some new books, and then he came on his way back, the incident happened. Alright, that checks out.
That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. Must have been on his way back from buying some old books.
A receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a secondhand bookshop before the incident occurred. Alright, I'm sure that's going to be helpful for something. It establishes... It's got a time on it, so, you know. Probably helpful. Ah, look! There's Herlock! Hello! Hello, sir.
Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo.
Aha! There he is. Where did he appear from?
Seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. Hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, you two. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Birdia.
Yes, of course, the Birdia. And let me see, what happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Sogi. He died, tragically, but you were a great help to us. He did help us, I guess I should give him that benefit, but, like, also, he's a troublemaker! Ah, yes, but of course! The case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Oh!
Well, you seem to remember something of it at least.
What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. That is Mr...
Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato. Close. He got close. Look, at least he remembered. He did remember the names, yes. He didn't remember who they belonged to. So that is a step. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite that day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. We solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short amount of a time? A afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain addict has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose.
Mr. Sholmes, he has some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression! My dear madam, I should only be too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Yeah, alright, let's just talk to him. Alright, let's talk about the arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Saseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines.
Mr. Natsume denies it. Is it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye when feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. Ionosuke, everybody can read you like a book. But appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here, somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily? Bibliophily? How do you... I don't know. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no.
Oh dear.
Alright, let's talk about Mr. Garideb, the landlord. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garideb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is the services.
And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institution that is service. Anyway. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to be token the social standing of those dwelling therein. Token their social standing? Sorry? But simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. The upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness, how extraordinary.
As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower class, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. I'm telling you, that's probably not the maid, that's probably his wife. And it is for precisely that reason that I find the great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Gary Deb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. Anyway, interesting that he, in fact, did not actually point the finger at Natsume. I was just saying, you need to know where the man who fled the scene was? Here's where the man who fled the scene is. But he had the sense to realize, I don't know if that dude is actually guilty. So I do appreciate and respect that, so... Points for that, Mr. Sholmes. Points for that. The dingy room. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that?
Surely not a tax on windows.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness!
Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. That's fucked up, man! Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with larger sums of tax money. Wow.
How awful and unjust! Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light?
Indeed, disease was rife as a result. Though some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. Suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price.
As the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. Matter not worthy of further attention. For now. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? Oh, you remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well, then I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. So promptly, too. Thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. There are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. And there are witnesses who swear to have seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
Cannot say with any certainty whether or not is of relevance to the case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property hiding something. Yo, agreed. See, I don't know. I need a little more time to put that thought together. Alright. Cigarideb is, I mean, yes, obviously. Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case.
Sir Naruhodo. As yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garidib's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be irrelevant or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Huh. Busy man indeed. Gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Look at him reading away. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, so true. To be or not to be? That is indeed the question, Mr. Naruhodo. To be or not to be brushed off? That is the question, and the answer is all too clear.
Let's leave Mr. Sholmes in peace, shall we?
Fine, fine, fine. Alright. We haven't been to this place in a while, have we? No, we certainly didn't just come from there. Not at all, not at all. "19th of February, Mr. Garideb's room. Ah, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?"
Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his own element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you tell me what— Ah! For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bally well doing?
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Yes, of course. That's definitely his wife, isn't it? Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind.
Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. Been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Gardev is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Ooh, window.
This window looks out over by a road where the young woman was attacked.
Oh yeah, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly.
Is this thing open at all, I wonder?
I shouldn't understand the bitterness of a London winter, sir.
Sorry? Oh, sorry, underestimate. Yeah, I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness.
As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you.
Seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. What are we hiding? What are we hiding? What the f— Hello? Sir? Ah, what is he doing over there? I guess he's gonna steadily get more and more helpful and then eventually become endearing into our hearts, is the play here.
Mr. Sholmes!
Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows! Good gracious! When did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Oh! Neo, Knuckle right in with a party of one. Hello, hello, welcome our ears. I'm Sparkling Parfait. Today we are playing Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and it is case number 4, The Clouded Kokoro. And we are investigating a not murder. An almost murder, but not a murder. Just a stabbing. How was your Genshin Impact? How was your stream?
Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. You did another small event? You must be the one-person raid! Hi, DJ Mon, how's it going? Yay, Momo Poggers! Momo Poggers are the best Poggers. Best Pog emote on Twitch, I assure you. So, I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. You like the story? The event itself was a new idea, so you can't wait for the improvements for next time. That's nice. It's always cool to see Des fiddle around with new things and then, you know, improve upon them. Well, keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? That perhaps you might need. of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Hope they improve it. Oh, the event? Yeah. I'm sure they will. They seem like pretty good devs who, you know, listen to their community and try to do fun and engaging things, so I'm sure they'll make it better. Devs who pay attention are very cool.
Do you mean Mr. Sholmes's?
There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the new mechanic. I think so. It's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garideb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I've been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements.
I beg your pardon?
The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Are we sure it wasn't just a cannonball? And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you.
Sir Naruhodo, look!
The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. What?
How? How could you possibly?
How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Ah! And I know only too well the wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, here we go. The great deduction. The game is afoot! Alright. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might the beast take? For a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. Fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts.
What is this piffle, I ask you?
In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house.
What?
Did anybody else see that slap on the side of his face?
Hey, Cinnamon Moonwish, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you are enjoying the stream and having a great weekend. Welcome into the cafe. Yet living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Okay, I don't know if that could be made by a lion, but sure, you do you. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Ooh! Your dress pocket gives us handsome clues as to the beast's current whereabouts. I mean, there's something in there, but I don't know about that. But protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Oh. Oh. Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garideb. At Batty's Circus. Traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I've observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Alright, so his conclusion is that it's a rampaging Asiatic lion. Alright, so the aftermath, topic 2. Now, Mr. Garideb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man! I simply... Again, with the scars on your face, I'm like barely seen peeking out. But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is the pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Ah. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? Yeah, the rip in the carpet, what's that about? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over here. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye is settled upon the very your wandering eye is settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. There we go, I got this.
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only to look at the Tower of Cakes. No, the candle. Oh. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it, or was it not, once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake. Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact.
Whatever do you mean?
Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. Bro. The teeth marks on the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. I don't know about that one, man. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. You tried. And thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes's great deduction of this beastly puzzle. Ah! What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gardeb. Afraid I didn't notice.
Something up with that maid. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too.
Oh.
Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it again? I think we need to, like, straighten out some things with your observations. Well, your deductions just now. You really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well?
But an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room. Surely Mr. Gardeb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse.
Ah, that is where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold the lion to the circus.
What about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I've ever heard of a lion that drinks tea.
Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. I mean, afternoon tea is quite good.
Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again.
I had a feeling that was coming. Somebody's got to rein this man back in.
A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it.
Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. I bet you normally have Iris do this part for you. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always a worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let us start again from the beginning of Sherlock Sholmes's Logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes! Certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. And thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah. For a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glance, Mr. Gorideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Nah. I really didn't see the lion thing coming.
No, but if you observe Mr. Gorideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yeah, something with a very fierce nature.
But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India.
So what was it then?
We must follow Mr. Gorideb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer.
Mortar shells? These are shells for the cannon, aren't they? What a strange place to keep them.
I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Gorideb from his time in the army. Of course. He mentioned a battle to us before, didn't he? You remember? He said that he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these that hit him?
If around that size that hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it. Or Mr. Gorideb, for that matter. Mr. Sholmes is a Persian slipper. And this man has spent shells. Rather, perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. I'm pretty sure it's the mortar shells. There's really not much other options. Alright, we're gonna go with this. Nope? Okay. True identity of the beast that tore this room apart is those shells. With their butter wouldn't melt accomplice, the cannon. A war is good for nothing. It only brings destruction, something we must all strive to understand. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yup. Yes, I was wanting you to hear it. I'm quite proud of it. We tried. I find myself wanting never to have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. Yep, alright, thanks. Oh, sorry. I'll try again.
Well, we do know with some certainty... Well, we do know with some certainty is that a destructive creature has been at work in this room.
And that Mr. Gorideb inadvertently looked in the direction of something that gives its identity away. Yeah, if we look thoroughly enough, we ought to find the answer.
What did Mr. Gorideb turn to look at?
It's here somewhere. We just need to find it. It's not the lion statue. Oh wait, what's in this frame? Was it his wife? What's this photograph?
It appears to be from Mr. Gorideb's wedding.
Looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride.
No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face.
I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. Newlywed bride.
Glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all.
No amount of cracks could hide that woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than... Sorry.
I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want upset, that's for sure.
Oh, look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it?
Yes, that's an unusual design.
Looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
Interesting.
This must have been when Mr. Garideb was still in the army.
Seems to be carrying his rather stout bride effortlessly and beaming a smile at the same time.
I suppose he was very strong in his younger years.
Hard to imagine now. He's as thin as a rake. Okay, maybe the wife was probably mad about something.
Take that!
Let's do it. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruto. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garideb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, you can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Indeed, surely a woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching the point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garideb. Ah! The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? It's probably her, isn't it? And she's mad because she has to pretend to be a maid to make it look like they're richer than they are. Or she got told to sell her ring.
Me?
I pray you did not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction.
It is.
Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts.
Poor fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself.
Well, I don't know about fragile.
Oh, dear. Anyway, Mr. Shelms is quite right. There's no sign of Mrs. Garideb anywhere.
But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. Clue that this maid is trying to hide. Wonder where Mr. Garideb's wife could be. Two tightly shut eyes to avoid even the chance of a giveaway glance. Pursed lips to prevent any secrets from slipping out. Rounded cheeks to deflect any abuse that might be hurled her way. Yep, this is an unnervingly powerful woman, Mrs. Sato.
It's your turn, a phrase that's unnerving, Mr. Naruhodo.
Teapot?
What a charming little teapot, and it's in pristine condition. Nona's been pouring some deliciously fragrant tea from it for Mr. Garideb, hasn't she?
Well, not so much for Mr. Garideb, as on Mr. Garideb, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't dream of drawing attention to it.
Nope, you've still got your ring. Look at that wedding ring. She's wearing a very large ring, look.
Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. That's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means... surely a wedding ring.
It looks like it's on there for life, too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger that size. Rude? Hey, no fat shaming, Ryunosuke.
That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Do you know Mr. Garideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? It was a large sunflower design as well.
Really? You have a great memory for these things. We literally saw it like 2 minutes ago. Naruhodo. A large sunflower wedding ring. What a coincidence that they each have the same ring, isn't it? Coincidence or giveaway that it's her. I just want to read what he has to say.
That certainly does appear to be a circus handbill poking out from her pocket. Batty's Circus, currently performing shows in a park not far from here.
You don't think? Surely Mr. Gardeb didn't sell his wife to the circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, how could you even think such a thing?
I was only joking! Besides, I would have gone with, do you think he fed her to his pet lion? That's somehow worse. Alright, let's go.
Take that!
It is her! Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Oh! Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Gardeb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no... Sorry, wrong one. That's us. In other words, you are no ordinary housemaid. No. You are Mr. Garadeb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my! What?
Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally quarterback. Ah! It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. Man is his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. Household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considerable opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Gardeb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Gardeb? Only in company, obviously, but listen here. Must remain secret. Tip-top secret, please. The raging wife of Mr. Gardeb. Solved. Alright. So what happened that day? Now, Mr. Gardeb. It's plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Gardeb's wife a beast.
Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable.
But Mrs. Gardeb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he?
Oh, how true.
Perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head. Some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Gardeb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose of his really signify? A hand mark, a slapped cheek. She got real mad at him. Oh my, look at that bright red mark.
Gosh, that's quite something. And clearly made by somebody's hand.
Yes, Mr. Gardeb has been slapped on the face, it seems. Hard.
Never seen such a clearly defined mark.
Whoever could have done
Whoever could have done such a thing?
well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. I mean, let's just present this slap cheek and get it on with.
Take that!
I love the glass shattering effect. It's very cool. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madam Joan Garadeb.
Well, yes.
You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah! How the blazes! How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garadeb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer.
Didn't Mr. Shom say that the bills were all for lion fodder?
Yeah, but now we've established the lion never existed. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garadeb's wife.
Mr. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing.
Yeah, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round to the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact.
Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder?
I'd love to know the answer to that question.
Looking at all these bills, it certainly amounts to a great deal of food.
Eating potatoes by the cartload, wasn't it? Well, looking at the two of them, you can tell immediately who eats the lion's share in this household.
Well, at least we're no longer talking about an actual lion anymore.
What's this bookmark? Ooh, that's a kiss mark! Someone having an affair?
Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garadeb is clearly an avid reader.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark.
Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary.
And look at the signature. Look next to the signature here. Lip marks.
Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture.
Don't get any ideas, Susato-san.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
This bookmark is actually a love note then. Yep, probably mad about the love note. Ooh, there's a lot of broken shit here.
Oh dear, this plate has been smashed to pieces. And nobody seems inclined to tidy up the mess.
Perhaps it's some sort of high art.
Really, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, anyone who has a cannon on display in their living room is clearly a little eccentric.
Yes, let's call it eccentricity.
Yep, this probably precipitated the slap. Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. You cheat on your wife. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Takes a look at our list of people. I was hoping we knew the name of the victim, but I guess we don't. Okay. Wait, hold on. One more thing to check. No, his name's John. Who's James?
Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here? Woo! She hit him again! Ah! I don't know the bally woman. You don't know her? That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I've been saying! Ah! A likely story. Now listen here, Joan, old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there. So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's what I've been saying! A likely story. Heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John! A likely story. Jericho, but without box, is... Oh, he's Sag. He's pause fishing. Oh, I'm sorry. He's like, where the heck did you guys do with my box? We threw away one of the boxes that Jericho likes to use. If anybody needs context. Oh, we have a sad cat in the house. Are you questioning my name now? You smacked him again. And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of a female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Ah! Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? Yeah, what happened to the carpet? It looks like a fire started, honestly, from the candle that fell over. The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. No, look at the candles. One moment, pouring tea.
But surely Mrs. Gardeb didn't eat the carpet?
No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper.
No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mrs. Garideb's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer.
All right, let's see what we can see.
Yes.
Ah, so many cakes. Sorry.
So many cakes.
Is that really all you can think about?
Well, look at them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's a mountain of them, and they all look so delicious.
It's more of a tower than a mountain, I'd say.
It is a mountain, and it's my hope that one day in our fairy homeland, I will be able to perform the tea ceremony at the foot of such a mountain.
It's definitely a tower. Circus handbill.
This is an advertising handbill for the circus. Patty's Circus. It's in a nearby park.
Is this the same as the one we saw earlier? The one that was folded up in Miss Garideb's pocket?
Perhaps they're very great circus lovers?
It couldn't be that Hungry Lion is somehow involved again here, could it?
Oh dear, I do hope not.
Carpet. Carpet here has been ripped to shreds.
Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, tears match those made by an Indian lion's teeth exactly.
I doubt that. Oh, look here.
What is it?
If you look closely at the edge, you can see scorch marks.
Oh yes, so you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all.
Let's rethink this with that in mind. I mean, we know it's the candles. We're just looking around at other things for fun. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick.
This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it?
The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over.
Oh dear, that would be very dangerous.
Wait, take a closer look at this. It's missing one! Oh no, and that's surely not a candlestick on the side of the carpet. There's one candle missing!
Yes, I didn't notice that before.
Why is it that, I wonder? Why is one of the candle of the three missing from its holder? Anyway, it's the candles. Candlestick! Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remains of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Mrs. Gardeb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow, so you see there's but one conclusion here. Dude, I love this buddy system, though. It's really cute. Even if he's annoying when he's wrong. Okay, we're gonna fix it. Fine. After the sparks of a marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you! And he's down. Oh, she caught him! Oh, that's cute. Carpet scorched by a small fire. Deduction complete. Elementary. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just round the corner. File my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material?
To which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems.
Don't know about admonished. Demolish might be rather closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly not described. Here we go again. And the carpet, was that destroyed by a fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. Whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being.
Over here, Mr. Gardeb.
Well, you have nothing to hide, more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Porch books. All my favorite old novels in that case. As soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it.
Whoosh, up in smoke. Chirico plus small box equals cat box and purring. Aw, that's cute. Wait, when did that emote get added? Owns box. Aw, okay, that's very cute. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me.
What a terrible sight it must have been.
There was I, back up against the window and a heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite, book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. Ah, yes. Your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage.
Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again.
It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage! Flames everywhere and the old stick in the full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think.
So at exactly the same time, a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below.
And more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. Old Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment. I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing.
Oh, really?
Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo? What can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garidib's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? He did warn us it might not. Can't help you out there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be irrelevant or not. I just knew you were gonna say that. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry. Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already?
We're to accept Mr. Natsume's case. We have official paperwork to attend to.
That's it. No more time to think.
Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Garidib.
Oh yes, I'm so sorry.
Thank you both very much for your time.
Seki-san will be waiting for us. I'm gonna have to give him an answer.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Narrow Hollow. I'm afraid it's supper time now. I'll have to ask you to leave.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
If you linger too long, Mrs. Garidib will start pouring tea again.
No one wants that. Alright, shall we go then? No doubts Seki-san is beside himself in his cell waiting for us to return. I can't afford to spend any longer making up my mind. Alright, to the prison. The prison cell where the defendant, Mr. Saseki Natsume, is being held. It's quiet and the light from the candles dim, but there's little chance of sleeping. 19th of February. Briar Road.
It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison.
Yes, I know. Let's hail a car. Oh.
What's the matter?
It looks like something's going on over there in front of Garideb's house. I'm sorry, what? What is this fop doing?
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers.
Are you calling an old man rum-looking niminy-piminy?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt in your philosophy.
Who's this Horatio fellow, eh? What are you on about?
Excuse me.
Huh? What the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry. It just looked as though there might be some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see.
Huh? A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law. I don't feel my way for today. You mark my words. This ain't over yet.
Get thee to a mummery.
Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you?
I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you.
What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
I'm not Horatio either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but
Are you a thespian?
are you a lodger here in the Garideb residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode.
Mr. Garideb mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemist in my battle of words ne'er could there be.
Sorry, battle, did you say?
Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night.
I see.
I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least.
So, fair maiden, so good gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well.
I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room.
It seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. So Seki-san and that man as lodgers, the Garideb house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find us a carriage.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return.
Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. I gotta try to remember this dude's voice. 19th of February, 6:31 p.m. Local prison, cell number 9.
Oh, it's you. Here, came. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched.
so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
Oh no! Think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nipponese! Oh, now let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. Nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand... Oh, it's fucking Sherlock. I mean Herlock. Sholmes. It is thoroughly friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. Oh, it's... Yes. It's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring.
Full room?
At least your accommodations here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and cost me not a penny.
Ah! You! How dare you! Herlock Sholmes! I've had it. And the end of my rope. I should have never come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life has been damned!
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there's much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. For the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Let's talk to the dude. First trial. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh, no. Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away. That's all. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I see. That's really agitated him.
You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow?
Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper, the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no. What do you mean? Please, tell me! Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words!
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution, ever.
Oh my goodness! Can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly!
Wait, what? No defendant has ever survived a trial in... Oops. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh, it was 16 words exactly.
Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. Then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances.
Mr. McGilded.
What?
Ah, I am impressed, Mrs. Sato. You have an eye for detail.
Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us.
Mr. Sholmes. Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself?
Oh no, he couldn't have, surely.
You have some wonderful notions. Sorry. Man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow.
Oh, yes. Why, of course he is.
Of course he is. And why are you trying to scare me?
Could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Oh no. Hold on, can we show him stuff? Tell me about your books. Your book, 17th of February, 4:45 p.m. Customer name, Mr. Notsma. The sum of 2 shillings tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gaboriol, and Canterbury Yearnings. We found this receipt in your room, Mr. Notsma.
That's right. I went out to buy some new old books.
Isn't that a contradiction in terms?
And it was on your
way back to the room that you saw the woman being stabbed?
She's dead. I thought to myself, she's dead! My mind went completely blank. Before I knew it, I was back in my room, just trembling like a leaf.
The bookworm hoping to worm his way out of a bad situation.
Mr. Naruhodo, please do be careful not to think such disparaging thoughts.
How could you possibly know? Alright, back to talking to him. Talk about the Reaper. Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
That's good.
Seki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you're no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers for that matter can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail.
But it means the wrong verdict can be passed.
And sadly is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's all right. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my.
Though the education may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir.
Perhaps they are trampled upon, trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by a highwayman. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. A city riddled with crime. Apparently. I knew it. I'm dead! Dodo! Done for! Doomed! Why is your lodgings cursed? When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room in Mr. Gardib's house. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? Been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away.
You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I've had to move a number of times. Most recently to that room on Bar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it! But if not, don't mention it in the first place!" Yes, well said. And it was true. It was all true. You mean the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I wake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. Aren't we sure it's not just because it's really cold in there and then there's probably a cat curling up against you, trying to get your heat and then suffocating you? Because that can and does happen. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits! Only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really, no one at all. To believe. Yes. To believe.
Believe it.
Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Burdia, if you recall. Burdia. The Burdia. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Yes, that one with the snake. Well, yes. At the time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. Although you did clap me in irons. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... Because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Maybe. Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you nor in that which you were telling me. What? Yeah, I don't recall that either. I just recall him being like, well, alright, let's investigate everything we can. Whee! You see? The only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in.
What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
I made up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. I should like to believe in something, I do. Circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It's a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, yes, he's right! He's right! Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Whether or not I can believe in myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Cosma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe.
Already?
Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? I'd love to.
Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there?
Mr. Natsume? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. I trust my instincts.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo.
And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me. My native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. Would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Miss Susato,
Yes?
would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court?
Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant.
The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now, too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Sasaki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight in his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. To be continued! Alright, let us save. Yes. We are saving. Alrighty. Oh, I think that is where we will stop for the evening, and we will continue this next week. Around the same time, perhaps a little bit earlier. We shall see. There's a lot of chores to do this week. Maybe next week we might be able to start a little bit earlier. But for now, oopsies. Hold on. Roll here, and there we go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you are not currently following, but you want to see more when we go live next week to continue this story, please go ahead and hit that follow button on Twitch, or, you know, subscribe on YouTube. Both are totally free, and that way you'll get the notification of when we resume, be it when we go live or when the VoD gets uploaded. Other than that, thank you all to lurkers, VoD watchers, chatters, everyone who stopped by, everyone who watches later. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all. For now, we will call it here for the evening. I'm going to go do some things with other people and also wrap up the event on my alts and FF14. And tomorrow will be a scheduled stream to do. We're going to be doing some min eye level rating in FF14 with our free company. We're gonna learn the Twin Top. It'll be fun in a good way for our team to learn how to do. Anyway, then after that, next stream will be the stream after that will be Kaizo Ironmon on Monday, and we should actually be able to do Variety Night this Thursday because, you know, I'm not anticipating to suddenly have to go to an event again. And then, you know, perhaps some EO in between. We shall see, and then more of this next Saturday, Ace Attorney Saturday. All right, have a great night, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again. I appreciate you all. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you, and good night. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.